What's going on? The black community has a major problem that it's not really explored, and I'm going to talk about culture and religion. Um, Most cultures have a dominant religion, or maybe a couple of main religions that serve to reinforce their cultural values. Right? They work hand in hand. One promotes the other. Um, so if one fails, right? The other one fails. If one does well, the culture does well. So they work hand in hand to lift each other up and, kind of reinforce each other. But the black community and the black church work against each other. What the black church promotes is not what the black culture promotes. And think deeply about this one. Think deeply, right? Does the church promote casual sex or sex outside of a marriage? No, right? No religion really does that. What does the black culture do, right? What does it promote, right? I'm not trying to say that other cultures don't have sex outside of a marriage, but what does black culture promote? Hey, we're doing it anyways, so you might as well wrap it up and wear a condom, right? That's our take on it. It's okay, right, to have sex outside of a marriage, just as long as, you try to keep it safe. Try to keep it safe as much as possible, right? Oh, don't worry. If you slip up, you have a kid, it's all right, right? We'll throw a baby shower for you, right? That's the issue, right? The church talks about, the black church talks about humbleness, right? Being humble, right? Remember your beginnings, your origins, right? Stay true to who you are. What does black culture promote? Do you. I have to shine. I have to stunt. I have to stay flashy. And it's not just the men, it's the women, right? I work in a predominantly lower class, neighborhood. Some are even in poverty. Yet I see more kids, black kids, come to school in true religion jeans, right? Than I do any other group, right? So you have $100+ for some jeans, right? But this is the situation your parents have you living in, right? Maybe they're counterfeit, who knows? But it's just the fact that they have them on. That works against the black church, right? They don't promote that. They don't promote materialism. All right, let's go further. What does the black church promote, right? What do most churches promote? The submission of the women to the men. Why? Because the men have done what? Submitted themselves completely to God. That's what it promotes, right? What happens in the black community, right? We're fighting over who's the head of the household. Mind you, we're fighting over who's the head of the household, right? No one else is fighting in terms of who's the head, right? Black women aren't the only group of women who are in professional America. Quite frankly, we're probably the last to break into professional America, right? But go figure. You don't really hear the whole issue of who's the head of the household, right? When we're talking about other ethnic groups, right? Yeah, it happens, but it's not promoted in the culture, right? What else? What else can we promote? The whole act of having children outside of wedlock. Now, it happens, don't get me wrong, but it's not okay. It's taboo. It's shameful. It's a no-no. I'm not trying to knock any woman out there who's a single parent. I'm just keeping it real. Go to any community, any culture, right? And it's shameful, right? The women get a scarlet letter on their chest. I'm not saying it's fair, but it is what it is, right? In the black community, though, you're all good. It doesn't really matter, right? You're not punished. There's no shame. There's no guilt for having children with no identifiable father, right? Or a father that chooses not to be around, right? The church doesn't promote that, but black culture promotes it. Or I want to say promote it, but it condones it. And that's the problem. I can keep going, where I can keep on going forever and ever, but I'm going to stop right there because I want you guys to really think about it. There is an issue, right? Me and my boy joked, and we were like, wow, I wonder how long black Americans would survive if the church went under, excuse me. It's barely holding on as it is now, right? So you have a lot of preachers who are moving away from God, right, and promoting more black cultural things, which work against what, right, the black church is supposed to stand for. So the black church is on the decline. So what's going to happen, right, if the church continues to lose power? What's going to offset our own culture? Ain't that some shit? Right? It's like fire and water, but we're running out of water. Right? That's some scary shit. I don't think a lot of people are, thinking about it. Right? So in closing, how can a group of people do well when its culture and its religion clash with each other and conflict, right? And don't promote each other, right? One serves to cancel the other one out. How can a group of people get ahead? Let me know how you feel. Peace.